Hey, what's up, internet? I'm back, this time with a build vid on Trinity. You might be wondering why Trinity, why now? She got a suite of like light buffs like 3 months ago, which is when I probably should have made the video. That's when everyone else did. But I decided not to because those buffs just did not move the needle. She barely got buffed, quite frankly. I just didn't really care, so I didn't make a vid. However, she showed up my elite temporal Archimedia this week, so I decided to build her out, and then I got a little carried away. Next thing you know, we're making a vid. So thank the devs for lighting a fire under my ass, I guess. We would not be here without that. Before I get into the actual abilities, I will give a brief explanation of how, or well, I guess a opinion on how good I think she is. She's a very good frame, I think. She's not like such a good frame I will actively pick her into content, but if she shows up in my like circuit or elite temporal Archimedia or EDA, any of those things, you're very happy to see her. I'm quite pleased. That's because she's like super tanky, she's a credit to team, she's a great support, she's even actually an excellent weapons platform if you build her right, and she can also nuke. It's usually more of a single targeting thing, but it can be an AoE nuke, even though it's a little finicky. It's not her strong point nuking, quite frankly, but in general, she's a very strong frame, so I mean, happy to see her, happy to pick her. Alright, let's get into the abilities real quick. Actually, before like the abilities kit explanation, let's get into the passive. The passive is, you can see in the top right, there's a 321 with a plus sign right by my health and shields. That is the extra health I'm getting from her passive. Turns out 50% of her maximum energy gets converted into health, both for her and all the allies in her affinity range, which is also her blessing range. So that's pretty good. It's nothing to really write home about, but it's nice. Definitely better than the old passive she used to have, which I don't remember what it was. They replaced it. So that's nice. Appreciate it. Let's go into the abilities now. First one here is called Well of Life, and this is what it does. For the most part, this is what it does, which is why I helmeted it off. But it obviously does more than that. If you look in a radius, it has like a radius around it, which indicates its area of effect. And you can have up to 3 of these now. You used to only be able to have 1. And what it does is, and first off, the enemy doesn't take any damage, but if you shoot it, it will heal all allies within that radius, which you can't see now because I'm already at full health, another reason I don't really use it. And when you deactivate it, they will take all that damage in one burst. So that's very little damage because this weapon sucks. And the new thing they added to it, which makes it almost worth considering, is they added a death cheat. If you are within this little radius and you die, and you're not on cooldown from the last death cheat, you will get 5 seconds of invincibility, and you won't die, which is pretty nice. I'm usually a big fan of death cheat, but in this case, I don't like it because A, you have to have a guy up, B, you have to be inside of it, and C, you have to not be on cooldown because once you actually do get your death cheat, you have a 60-second cooldown before you can do it again. And all those things combined make me feel like, what's the point? Especially because on this particular frame, like, how are you dying? Like, you gotta try kind of hard to die. You gotta be pretty asleep at the wheel, especially with some of the builds. So I'm not a big fan. If you ask me, this is her helmet ability. Second thing up is a very good ability. There's a lot to talk about. Her energy vampire. As you can see right now, it's regenning my energy, hence the name. It's a single target ability. You pop it on an enemy, and they pulse every 2.25 seconds at most. This scales with duration, and you actually want negative duration to make it go faster, but you can also go positive duration, you'll get more pulses, because it's capped at 2.25 seconds. So that's nice, and as you can see, it also does appreciable damage. What it does is, this is strength scaling, but it does, at base, 6.25% of an enemy's current health in damage every pulse. There's supposed to be 4 pulses in total. For some reason, the ability description window will just like read 25% when it's actually 6.25. I guess it just adds all the pulses together, which is especially misleading now because you can have more than 4 pulses, but whatever. Devs should probably fix that. But anyway, and there's more to it. That's just the base amount of damage. You'll also notice that this guy actually died instead of asymptotically getting closer to dying, and that's because once the enemy gets below 25% health, these pulses like stop dropping off in damage. It treats them as if they still had 25% health. So you'll see 7,738 damage here, and it'll just keep doing that until he's dead, or at least, you know, the ability runs out, because it treats him as if he still had 25% current health for all that damage. So that's pretty nice, and you can indeed soup this up with Viral and Roar, sort of like Sevagoth, and you can just insta-give dudes with that, which is pretty nice. You need a bunch of strength to do that, and of course, it's made a lot easier with Roar. You'll need like less viral procs, but it's definitely something to consider. And of course, as I was saying, if you have really low duration, you can just get a ton of pulses, and that's another way of doing something similar. And also, I have an augment on which gives me overshields. It's called Vampire Leech, and I think it's a very good augment, and I highly recommend it. And what it does is, if you get an energy pulse to you and you're already at full energy, the excess energy will be converted into overshields, or well, shields, and that can go into overshields, which is pretty darn good. I find this to be very, very good for survivability, and also this applies to all your teammates as well, so another good support capability. Very, very nice. And yeah, there's a lot about that. We'll get into more uses of the two later, but for now, let's move on. Her third ability is Link. This has a lot of things it can do, actually. It's basically an offense, defense, and utility build. I just got a message for some fucking reason. Anyway, let's ignore that. Link has, well, at its base, it's basically just a defensive utility. It gives you 75% damage reduction, assuming you have enough strength. It also gives you status effect immunity, which basically means you can skip prime sure-footed, among other things, assuming you have an enemy linked. Like, if you're like rocking an explosive weapon, I've had times where it knocks me back just because like I'm firing indiscriminately and there's no enemies I'm actually linked to anymore, and then you get knocked on your ass. So something to consider there. But in general, you can treat this as just like status effect immunity. Just keep your 3 up at all times. And you will notice that all these enemies are armor stripped. That is the effect of yet another fucking augment. This is another augment-hungry Warframe called Abating Link. Abating Link is very good. It basically just means any enemy you are linked to gets full armor stripped, which is pretty fucking... Kid, this guy fucking... What the hell? Stop. Stop. Oh my god. Am I online on Warframe Market? Oh my god. Fuck. Okay, I'm back. I had to buy an emote real quick. I was offline on Warframe Market. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But anyway, okay. So, there was one more thing I hadn't finished talking about Link. One more thing I had not yet explained, which is one thing no one else really talks about. I basically explained the whole ability, but you'll notice there's an actual visual link to every enemy I'm linked to, and this is actually handy. I find this actually really helpful. It like acts as a little like radar. A lot of times you'll just be like in absolute chaos and you'll be trying to find someone to energy vampire, and with this you can literally just snap to one of the lines and then you're good. I mean, to be fair, this is not line of sight, which is another good thing. It goes through walls. But, so yeah, sometimes you'll like snap to it and there'll be like a wall in front of it, but usually you'll be able to just see whoever you're linked to, and it'll give you a good target finder, basically, which is pretty useful. That's a thing that like is easy to overlook, I guess, but it is actually pretty useful. If you never need to like find some energy vampire, just look to one of your links. Alright, and her 4 gives you 75% DR, much as her 3 does. And oh, actually, I forgot to mention again about the link. The DR you get here is not actually damage reduction, it's damage redirect, which means the enemies that are shooting you are actually taking the damage steady, which really doesn't matter that much. But the main thing that does matter about that is that redirect is different than reduction when it comes to overguard. So this will actually act as damage reduction on your overguard. You will only take a quarter damage to your overguard while this is up, assuming it acts the same as other things. I actually did not test it, but it seems like a safe assumption. Whereas general DR abilities will not exhibit that same effect. So with this, it's DR, damage reduction, and this is damage redirect, Link. So while your base health will only take 1/16 of the damage, or like your shields and all that, your overguard will take 1/4 because some of it is damage redirect instead of damage reduction. Alright, anyway, let me get some energy back. Her 4th, as you can see, it just gives you 75% DR. Again, you need the strength to scale into that, I think. But some of these, I don't even remember which need. It's very little amount of strength you need to hit these breakpoints, so I don't even remember what they are. So it doesn't really matter. You'll have enough. Trust me, you'll have enough. And the main other thing it does is it just refreshes all your shields and all your health instantly. And that's true for everyone in affinity range. Excuse me. All your allies in affinity range will get this DR and the shield regen and the health regen, which is pretty good. It's definitely worth a slot on the old bar there. If you ever like your shield ever breaks, you can just press forward and you'll have it back. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Bye bye. Anyway, yep, that's the whole kit. So let's go ahead and get into the different builds and the build considerations, why don't we? Okay, builds. Let's start off with Archon shards. I'm just rocking simple cast speed and strength shards for all of them. Cast speed, it comes highly recommended. I recommend at least one of them. 2 is to taste, but it does grease the wheels quite a lot. It just makes you feel a lot nicer to play. And I mean, like, if you want to save yourself with your 4, the faster it casts, the better, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes timeliness is important. I found that it doesn't really matter for 2 that much, actually, because it's so easily recastable that you can just spam it regardless of your cast speed. It seems to just like cancel itself if you manage to find another viable target in time. and that is relevant for reasons I will get into in a moment. But yeah, in general, it is very nice to have cast speed. And strength, of course, is just greases the wheels. It makes it all your abilities more effective, including your helmet one. You'll get more links from your 3. It will give you more energy back. It's more easy to hit the actual caps you need for DR and all that. The break points, I guess, is the phrase. So that also very to taste. You can kind of, it's not very important, quite frankly. You can put whatever you really want here. I just find that strength is the best option, in my opinion. But yeah, it's not like a huge deal in this case. These are mostly to taste. And now let's get into the actual builds. There's a lot to talk about here, so I don't know how I'm gonna go over this. They're very different mod pages, actually. I guess we'll talk about the mods that are basically an auto-include in all of them. These two, and actually this one, I find I put them in all of my pages. Vampire Leech is, as I said, just a very, very good mod. It's very good for survivability and for supporting, actually, because this affects everyone in affinity range as well. Or Vampire Leech range, actually, not affinity range. I think it's just, yeah, the energy pulse range here, which is why, again, you want more stretch, too. Well, one of the many reasons you want more range via stretch. Stretch just increases your ability range for everything except for your 4. This is actually still affinity range, it does not need stretch. So you could drop this, but I really like it because it increases your link range, which is very helpful, and also all your energy vampire thing. You can both target people from farther away, which doesn't really matter because it's an extremely high range, and also give much larger radius pulses, which does matter. And then whatever your helmet ability is will probably also like range as well. In this case, I'm using Roar. I'll get into that in a bit. Next is Umbral Intensify. There is a strong argument to be made for going for Archon Intensify instead, because obviously Trinity is perfectly capable of restoring health with her abilities. Both her 4 and her 1, her default one, can restore health, so it is a consideration. That being said, I've found in practice, you just don't take health damage unless you're slotting Combat Discipline. And I don't find slotting Combat Discipline plus Archon Intensify to be worth it. If you do Growing Power and an Umbral Intensify, that's already more strength. The only real reason you'd want to do that is if you're also slotting in Arcane Avenger, which is certainly a good consideration. You definitely could do that. I just like my enemy radar, so fuck it. I don't want to do any of that. But yeah, it's definitely good to have more strength, like I was saying. So you don't have to spend the Umbral form on this, or the fucking Omni formas, obviously. That's just because I wanted to fuck around with builds a lot and have the mod capacity to do so. So this is very over-invested. Don't worry about how many formulas and omnis I put in this. Abating Link is almost an auto-include, but this is not an auto-include for the tiny duration builds, because you're not going to be getting like any uptime on these abilities at all. Like the DR is just not really going to be there. You're basically you're relying on spamming Vampire Leech to give you your survivability in this particular case. So in that case, you wouldn't use it, but anytime you're actually having your link up at all times, this is also an auto-include. So these are kind of like the auto-include area, unless you're doing a 12.5 build, in which case you can do something else here. And then for the rest, I just go with Adaptation. Again, I don't do that in this one because you're spamming Vampire Leech and getting your shields up and shit. Again, we'll get into the point of this later. But Adaptation in general, very, very good for survivability. Combined with all her other DR, you just get a fuck ton of damage reduction. With these two combined, you're only taking like a 6.7, somewhere around 6% damage. It's literally, you're taking 1/16th damage, whatever that maths out to, because it's 1/4 times 1/4. And then you add Adaptation on top of that, it goes to like 1/160th, because you only take 1/10 of the damage with this when this is all stacked up. So you take like very little damage, and then combined with Vampire Leech and the ability to on demand just refresh everything and give yourself even more DR, like and all this, yeah, like you're just basically not going to die unless you're trying hard to die for the most part. So it's very, very good. And the rest is just more strength and some energy. As I was saying earlier, energy does help your passive. This will give you even more health along with your allies. It's very nice to have. In general, you want more energy too. Obviously, like her 2 gives her back all sorts of energy, but you can run out. So you don't want to run out. Like having a bigger energy pool makes it a lot easier to like not forget to, bottom out and constantly. I mean, if you're spamming this all the time, it doesn't matter anyway. But it's very nice to have more, I found. In the past, I was using Prep here instead of Power Drift. You can still use that. Like, I think on some of these, I'm using it. This one's Prime Shift Footed. Yeah, this one's Prep. So those are, actually, yeah, these are basically the 3 things I would put in here. This one, yeah, is using Prime Shift Footed again because there's no link. There is a link, but it has such tiny duration that you can assume link is not going to be up. Thus, I'm using Prime Shift Footed. Another thing that's good about Power Drift, by the way, is it gives you like a little bit of Prime Shift Footed. It gives you a chance to resist knockdown. which while it won't come up while your link is up, it can come up. Like I was saying, sometimes you can blast yourself or something when no enemies are around. So this is nice to have, in addition to just the ability strength. But beyond that, we're just getting a fuck ton of strength so we can crank Roar. And also just for getting a ton of links. The more links, the merrier. And getting a very high Roar plus a full armor strip actually makes her a really good weapons platform. It makes it almost a little bit Lavos-esque. You know, I was raving about how he could just like force proc corrosive really easily, and combined with Roar and like a good build, like that'll just destroy people. But I mean, this is very similar. Like if everyone around you is dying or well is getting armor stripped, sorry, not dying, they will soon be dead because you will also have a Roar on top of that, and you'll be able to fuck them up real good. It's especially good for melee, I found, because I mean, Link is, you know, an area around you, so if you're jumping into the fray, like everyone around you that is linked will get fucked up, and that's pretty good as it turns out. So yeah, good weapon platform. But also another good thing about Roar is I'll get into the strength breakpoint in a second. But another good thing about Roar is you saw earlier how we can insta-give an enemy with her too. This makes it a lot easier. You pop Roar, and then a single viral proc for the most part will instantly allow these guys to die. I say for the most part because there's a strength breakpoint you need to hit, which we have not hit. And you need to get augment stack a little bit more, or put like growing power, auger secrets in or something in order to get it. Yeah, see it. I can blast myself back with this if I don't have my link up. So yeah, see, you can see the 30% chance to not do that just procced from my power drift, which is pretty nice. But yeah, this will allow you to just pop people with her too, which is really good. If you were an aimbot, this would probably be a lot better. But this is actually really slow in practice. A little bit unfortunate. But yeah, there's actually a strength threshold or breakpoint I'm trying to hit, sort of, but it doesn't really matter that much, which is 376. I did the math. At that point, with Roar and your 2 scaling combined, you will be dealing 50%, just over 50% of an enemy's current health with a single pulse, and that means with a single viral proc, you will get to 100%, which instantly kills them. Turns out that's pretty good. But yeah, this doesn't work 100%. Like if you make them like Eximus, it'll take like a couple. I'll just go ahead and demonstrate that. Let's find some Eximus or something to do. Let's go with these guys, and you'll see it'll take actually like 2 pulses to kill these guys. Once we get our viral proc on, and you just wait for one, and then the second one will kill it. There you go. Yep. Which is not ideal. And also, I tried this on like Eximus Crewman, and it just kind of basically didn't work. I guess the shield just makes it not work good at all. Like even with a ton of stacks, even magnetic, it just like sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. I'm still not really sure what was going on with that, quite frankly. Let's the exos back on just for future reference. So yeah, you want a lot of strength with the Roar build, and it makes you a very good weapons platform. You can actually, I'll go that too, I guess, a little bit. Once you get your influence going, your Roar's up, everyone around you is kind of just gonna die real good. Because, and that's just with Rack the Dark Dagger. So that's pretty strong, I'd say. Makes your great weapons platform, allows you to pew pew pew, all those guys like that. Pretty strong overall, I'd say. And that's how I build it. Yeah, you could, like I was saying, like, plotting growing power, or just auger secrets over like stretch or adaptation or something, but I found this is the best for my purposes, especially because, like I was saying, the 376% breakpoint for a single viral proc to me. Like, if you can get a single viral proc, you can probably get more than one. Like, you were seeing my epitaph is just hitting them with like 5 viral procs with one shot, so it's not really that important to a strength threshold. Unfortunately, you can't get it to, you need viral, unfortunately, to insta-give people. However, you don't always need to do that. Like, let's check out this min-duration build. There's definitely more to talk about with the min-duration build here, but let's just show you what the point of this is. The point of this is so that they get pulsed a ton very quickly, and it can kill them pretty good. And of course, with viral, this works way better. So yeah, if you're like in an EDA or something, this is especially good because sometimes they'll have minus 50% ability duration. That'll make this shit pulse twice as fast, because that's how that works. In the past, it worked even better, but they nerfed it from 75% to 50%, so now the pulses will be half as fast compared to how they used to be. And as you can see, this will kill dudes, but not super well. The point of this particular one is marked for death, which you can do this on, and then they'll all die. However, this is finicky, because mark for death will proc, well, for a lot of reasons, but mark for death will proc on any instance of damage. You see there's a little blast proc there that they took. Yep. If that'll consume the Mark for Death proc. So if I do this, and then I do this, oh, look, it didn't fucking work. That guy didn't take any fucking damage. Because I was too slow and the blast proc ate it. It's fucking annoying. It's very annoying. Also, it's like finicky to target, and like you can't retarget a guy if they're already marked. You can't see the fucking mark for the most part. It's probably has some sort of fucking visual, but I can't fucking see it. So I find it to be very finicky, but it will enable you to nuke people as shown there. I haven't shown you the build yet, but I was just trying to show it. I will in a second. Yeah, you get your viral proc, you hit them with a, wait for the blast proc, and then hit them with a 1-2, and boom, they're dead. Or you can do a 1-2 really quick, and they'll all be dead. But if you do a 1-2 too slow, then it won't fucking work, because the blast proc will eat it. I mean, it depends on the weapon you're using or whatever, but like, any little tick of damage that they take will fucking eat that proc mark, and it's pretty cringe. And that's line of sight, it's limited range. It's very finicky. I'm not a huge fan, but yeah, that is how you ability nuke with her. Also, you'll notice I'm getting health conversion now. That's part of the build. I do that just because it gives me a ton of energy with battery, and via a ton of energy via battery, you also get even more health from your passive. I guess I'll explain that here. Health conversion gives you a 1350 once this is all stacked. With battery, that's like 405 extra energy, and then with your passive, that's like just over 200 extra health. So I mean, that's credit to team. 200 health isn't a lot or mean a lot, but you know, credit to team. It's better than nothing. I mean, I could have put like flow here instead and freed up this slot for something else if I were willing to invest another omniform. But I'm not. Or like yeah, actually this would take an omniform too, and goddamn omniforms are expensive. Unfortunate. But anyway, yeah, that's the Roar build. I guess I'll explain the MFD one a little bit better now that we're here. This one, I just put secrets. You could put Augur Reach here instead for even more range on the nuke on Mark for Death. I guess, did I explain exactly how this works? I mean, the point is, yeah, you mark a target and you deal damage to them, and that damage spreads to all enemies. So, yeah, that's what you were saying there. But like I was saying, like a little blast proc will also eat it, and it'll... This is good to have also for a min-duration build, because this does not actually have a duration. As you can see, these are all green numbers despite this tiny, tiny duration. That's part of why I put it on the min-duration build. But you can also just kind of ignore it and do the duration anyway. I also have another one that just literally uses this just so you can blink around quicker. Because there's not a whole lot of helmet abilities that are actually at all useful if you have no duration whatsoever. So yeah, this is kind of a demonstration of different ways you could build too. Like here I have Adaptation and Ages instead of using the health conversion battery. But for the most part, it's similar. You just want a lot of strength, a little bit of a stretch, and of course fleeting expertise to get the duration down as well. That's kind of part of it. You need both of these to get the duration down. And I mean, this obviously makes your energy economy a lot better, but you really don't need it because of her too. And then, like, other than these two builds, my favorite is probably almost certainly the Breach Surge build. This one does not go for like really high strength, and instead it just goes for the breakpoints and make sure you get the maximum armor strip. That's the real breakpoint we're trying to hit. And then it also gets, you know, maximum damage reduction and everything. But that is very easy to hit and doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters obviously, but you're gonna get that anyway. And this otherwise just goes for like, you know, basic tankiness and general utility and making it easy and good. You know, Abating Link as always we have on there because we're not actually we actually do keep it up, unlike these builds here. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I mean, I might have earlier, but the survivability off this is almost entirely just because you're spamming 2 constantly. Vampire Leech will keep you healthy very easily. That's why there's like no adaptation or anything else. And also you don't get the DR and such, so you'd think that'd be pretty yikes, but if you are constantly spamming the 2, which you should be doing on a min-duration build, then yeah, you'll be fine anyway. This one, as you can see, goes for prime continuity for comfier durations instead of like more strength or anything. That's because we've already reached our breakpoints. Unfortunately, that means we have less links, significantly less. We're at 5 here compared to the 10 here, and this scales even higher with augmented. But yeah, you don't really need it, honestly. You know, you kill enemies around you to link to more. The main point is Breach Surge is really nice for, in general. I mean, this is in general good for people for defending objectives and such. Like I was saying, a lot of times you're going to be picking her for like circuit or EDA or whatever, and in that case you're going to need something to defend things, and her abilities otherwise do not defend things really at all, so this is nice to have. And also, you know, Breach Surge particles, they go and kill more people. Very good. Another good ability for defending things is Gloom, but it does not work with Trinity at all really, because unfortunately her energy vampire does not actually work on people who are channeling abilities. I don't know why that is. I have no earthly idea. For the most part, channeled abilities prevent energy regen, that is like regen over time, but they won't prevent burst energy regen, and energy vampire is burst energy regen, so I really have no earthly idea why it does not work with channeled abilities, but it doesn't, so that kind of disables considering gloom, and unfortunately makes it less effective for any of your allies who might be channeling an ability. Unfortunate. And yeah, this goes for like a ton of energy, so it'll be credits team, max energy that is. We get prime flow for more energy, we get health conversion and arcane battery for even more energy. That'll bring us over 1,000, which will give us like 500 extra health for the team and you, or at least any team that's in affinity range. Which is pretty good. Combined with adaptation, you'll be extremely tanky, you'll be good to go. Of course, more strength is nice, but in this case, you know, just having really comfy durations and nice energy economy and preparation right off the bat, it's makes it real nice and comfy. You'll defend things well. It's pretty darn good. That's my opinion with it. Of course, like having more strength for roars, in general, I find this to be like the stronger build. But if you're like trying to defend things, like yeah, your breach surge is really good. And yeah, I also have like a strength version of this build, which is like just gets a little bit more linkage action, and it doesn't really matter that much. Your breach surge will be doing a little extra damage, but I would prefer to just have regular old whatever. And as you can see, this is a very flex arcane slot. Since we're not like stacking a ton of strength, we don't need health, we're very tanky. There's not really a lot that you would care about here, so I just put agility. There's a bunch of things you could put here. It's totally to taste. It's whatever. And I think that's mostly it. Did I say everything? I can't think of anything I didn't say yet, quite frankly. So I guess we'll cut it there, and I'll add in a new thing if I forgot about a thing. Oh, I guess just mentioning that the school doesn't matter at all. Oh, and also Panzer Volp is really nice to have for this guy for his viral procs. Remember I was talking about her 2 destroying people with viral procs. Another great way of getting it. Raktadak Dagger's nice as usual. Epitaph's nice for getting those viral procs. Other than that, doesn't matter. Like the build doesn't really matter aside from the actual frame build. Thankfully, in this case. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'd say I tried other helmet abilities. They did not seem pretty helpful, and yeah, that about explains it. Oh, I guess I should also mention the health conversion is also, it makes you actually kind of tanky because of all the extra health you get from your passive with health conversion and battery. And this will stack your armor up to just shy of 1,500. You'll actually be pretty tanky with all the other blessings and stuff. So DR and whatnot. So when your shield goes down, you don't have to panic on this build. If you have a health conversion, it's pretty nice. It's basically just another flow, but also gives you armor. Yeah, that's why I did that. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'll cut a thing in if I forgot. So okay, reviewing my notes, there are actually a couple brief notes I forgot to mention. One is that Abating Link, especially on these high strength builds, you can downrank this to get even more mod capacity if you want, because this will just increase the armor rating. And as you can see, we're already getting well over the 100%. All you need to hit is 100%. So you can go for a lower ranked one to save a little bit of mod space. I did not do that because I'd have to buy another copy, and I am hurting on platinum currently. And the other thing is, a lot of people will tell you Champion's Blessing is great. It's okay. I'm not a fan of it. I don't put it in any of my builds, even like this more weapon platformy Roar build, because you have to actually heal people, otherwise you don't get shit. Thankfully, this is a very nice duration on it. It's much better than the actual blessing duration. But the percentage you get is the actual percentage amount you heal, like actually heal. Like there has to be missing health. And sure, you can have like a pet that's like damaged and you can heal it, or you could heal your allies, sorta, kinda. And you could also use combat discipline to do that, although that also gets affected by your DRs, and you'll barely take any damage doing that anyway. And plus, you'll have to spam forward just to like even get this shit to work. Like, I just don't think it's worth. Like, sure, it's great for fucking YouTube because you'll get a bunch of red crits, but I mean, between like Roar and full armor strip, you're already gonna be doing tons of damage. I don't think it's worth the mod space, especially because it's so finicky. So yeah, that's my opinion on that. That's why I don't have it anywhere here. But yeah. Okay, that's it. Alrighty, let's get into it. Start by energy vampiring these guys, because this is not a prep build. I've chosen not to show off the min duration marked for death build, because, I mean, it's kind of underwhelming, not gonna lie. And let's get into it. First off, let me demonstrate, I guess, how she's a pretty good weapons platform. I gotta get my fucking combo up first. But as you can see, she just fucking deletes guys because they have no armor, and I have a big old roar buff, and melee influence like triple dips that shit, and it's real good. But beyond that, let's also just have a little fun with it. Let's epitaph these guys and pew, pew, pew. Also a thing you can do. So you can do both of those. It's quite fun. And yeah, if Panzer Volt gets on these guys' case, I'll fucking spore them already, would you? God damn it. Alright. I was hoping to show off. There we go. Now I don't need to, you know, relying on Panzer for viral is not my favorite thing. That's why you epitaph them, then you fucking, oh, look at these guys get fucked. I mean, you could, epitaph is also a little bit, you know, I don't know. Using Occucore with her works great too, as like a weapons platform. I don't know, you can use whatever weapon. Like I was saying, I'm probably going to pick her in like EDA circuit most of the time anyway, so I don't want to be too reliant on weapons. Yeah, I lost my roar buff, and everyone's fucking, oh yeah, it doesn't matter having them armor stripped for her too, because the damage does is true damage. I forgot to mention that, I guess, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway, but for the most part, yeah, that's a slow way of killing enemies. So for the most part, I would say just sort of use her as a roar weapon platform, and you'll have the best results. But it is fun to just be able to sort of pew, 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 people whenever you want. Pew, 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 pew. I don't know. I think that's a cool little thing she can do. And like I was saying, extremely survivable. Obviously having no problems. I mean, partially, I'm cheating a little bit because Rack the Dark Dagger gives you a ton of shields. But I mean, obviously, I'm not having struggles with it one way or another. These guys aren't doing a thing to me. And if they were, I would simply press 4 and problem solved. Oh, I'm out of roar. Gotta make sure to do that. Oh, and yeah, I actually... Epitaph also has some overguard on it, so that was just me losing my overguard for once. Anyway, yeah, as I was saying a while back, it is also good to have a link on when using overguard, because that 75% redirect actually does apply to overguard, unlike damage reduction. So that's another reason you might want to use secondary fortifier, aside from the base reason of secondary fortifier, which is really fucking good. And yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy. I think the other thing I brought was my my Torrid. We're not gonna get amazing kill speed because I'm just literally fucking hitting people with, you know, weapons. They're only gonna kill as well as the weapons kill, you know. But it kills pretty good. And like I was saying earlier, you can always just have more fun with it by going pew pew pew. And this can keep up. You can like actually do a whole survival this way. I found it actually works better than the MFD version. That one's so finicky that I was like struggling with life support. But with this one, you can keep a good clip going. And you just start popping people like this. And at the very minimum, it's a lot of fun. Although, if you really try to main this kind of playstyle, you're gonna get hella couple tunnel, and you're also gonna need to make sure your roar buff is up at all times. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. All right, we're back. My mom made food. Hooray! Why do I keep getting interrupted in this fucking video? That's the second one. Anyway, yeah, let's just kill these guys. Get this shit under control. This is the only reason I picked a Naramon, just so I can rack the fools. But obviously, you can do this with like anything. Like coming here with an Archititron, you'll be very happy. Obviously, you don't need Arcane Agility or anything with this one. But yeah, if you have both Roar and the Abating Link up, it's gonna fucking destroy kids very easily. I'm starting to run out of energy because I'm forgetting to do this. And there you go, it's all back. Woo! Anyway, yeah, Trinity actually very good weapons platform, and yeah, has this whole thing where she can just murder people, and has the fucking mark for death thing she can do too with the min-dur. She's a lot going for her, and obviously not struggling with survivability whatsoever, and it's obviously credits the team with all her supporting abilities, so yeah, I think she's pretty good. Pretty good. But, I mean, yeah, there's not much more to be said about that. Oh yeah, I guess Champion's Blessing, I already mentioned that, but like, I mean, have you seen my health go down at all this entire time? No, you haven't? Well, what a surprise. Misery, I'm gonna just swap to this shit, because I don't have a good way of killing it. Oh, I probably should have shown off how the 2 insta-give does not actually work on those guys at all. It just doesn't fucking work. Maybe it'll work on this guy. Actually, I don't want to fucking... All my DR went down. That's like the one enemy that's actually like dangerous. Those lasers fuck you up. But yeah, as you can see at that particular junction, I was like, oh, my shields actually went down. I'll just fucking press my buttons and I'll be fine. Like once in a blue moon, your fucking shields will go down, and that'll be all she wrote. But that's it. And oh, it does work on these guys though. Hold on, let me epitaph this guy and then it's pretty fun. And, where's the other guy? Where's the other guy? Oh, that's fun. Alrighty. Let's skedaddle. It's that simple. Surprised it was that quick. I feel like the fucking pause somehow took some time out of it or something. It must not have, but... cool! Maybe I had a lot to... I don't remember how that happened. But yeah, that's the whole video. I guess I'll just start the whole... If you liked it, like and subscribe thing part now, because I don't have anything else to say. Oh, I should have done the careening off the thing that I did last time. Whatever. See my Atlas vid for careening off that fun. It's more fun with the Atlas one anyway, because it has a faster attack speed. Anyway, yep, that's it. There's my Trinity build that was completely unsolicited and nobody asked for. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Hope you liked the builds. If not, feel free to rage at me in my Discord and tell me what a horrible person I am. Or don't, you know, leave a nice comment, even better. Probably more preferred. Alright, that's it. I will catch y'all on the flip side. See ya!